Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into English pronunciation. And more specifically, we're looking at W and V sounds.
That's right.
Which we know can be a little tricky for Turkish speakers.
Yeah, and it's important to master these sounds because not only for accurate pronunciation, but also to avoid those, meaning-changing mishaps.
Exactly like a house in the West turning into a house in a vest.
Exactly, yeah.
So we've gathered a ton of examples to illustrate the distinctions between these two sounds and to equip our listeners with the knowledge they need to navigate them confidently.
Right. So let's start by explaining how these sounds are actually produced.
Okay.
So the W sound involves rounding your lips and pushing air out like you're about to blow out a candle.
Oh, like a gentle ooh sound.
Exactly. And then for the V sound, it's a little different.
Okay.
You gently bite your lower lip with your upper teeth. And let the air flow through. You'll feel a slight vibration.
Interesting. So W is rounded lips, and V is a little bit of lip-biting action.
That's right.
All right, so let's jump into some word pairs that'll highlight these distinctions.
Absolutely. So let's start with a classic example. Ŵest versus ŵest.
Oh, yeah, the infamous house in the vest.
Exactly. So ŵest is pronounced ŵest.
Okay.
And it refers to a direction as in the sun sets in the west.
Right.
Whereas vest is pronounced vest, and it's a sleeveless garment, like he wore a vest under his jacket.
It's amazing how one sound can turn a house into an article of clothing.
I know, it's incredible.
So what's next?
Okay, let's move on to went and vent.
All right.
So went is went.
Okay.
And it's the past tense of go, as in she went to the library.
Yeah.
And then vent is vent. And it refers to an opening for air to pass through, like open the vent to let in some fresh air.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see how mispronouncing these could lead to some pretty funny misunderstandings.
Yeah, I can imagine someone saying, I vented to the store instead of I went to the store.
Exactly.
Okay, so what else do we have?
All right, let's try wet versus vet.
Okay.
So wet is wet.
Okay.
And it obviously means covered or saturated with water, like my hair is wet from the rain.
Right.
And then vet is vet.
Okay.
Short for a veterinarian, the animal doctor, you would say, I need to take my cat to the vet.
Yeah. Again, one sound can just completely change the situation.
Absolutely.
All right, this is great. What's next?
Okay, prepare yourself because this next one is a triple threat.
Yeah.
We have three words that share the same vowel sound, but the W and V are the key differentiators. Whale, veil, and veil.
Oh, wow. Okay, so whale is the majestic creature of the sea.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then we have veil meaning a valley or a dale.
Gotcha.
And lastly, veil, a piece of fabric worn over the face or head.
Okay. Wow, that is tricky.
It is tricky, yeah.
But it's amazing how these three very distinct words are only differentiated by the W and the V sound.
I know, it's really interesting.
All right, so what else?
Okay, let's unveil another trio. Wheel, and veal.
All right, let's spin the wheel. Wheel on this one wheel. Circular object rotates on an axle. The car needs a new wheel.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then we have wheel wills, which is a contraction of we will meet you at the park. And finally, veal vizzle meat from a calf. We're having veal for dinner tonight.
These are so similar.
They are very similar.
That's like a phonetic hide and seek.
I like that. And this is where context becomes super important.
Right.
So the surrounding words and the situation really give you the clues you need to understand the meaning.
So it's not just about the individual sounds themselves, but it's also about how they function within a sentence or a phrase.
Absolutely.
I like it. All right, what's next?
Okay, let's move on to wine and vine.
Okay, let's untangle this one.
Okay.
So whine, wane, high-pitched complaining sound. The child started to whine when he didn't get his way?
Yes.
Okay. And vine, vain climbing plant. The grapes grew on a vine.
Exactly.
It's amazing how one is auditory and the other one is visual.
Yeah, it's really cool how those sounds can evoke such different images.
Yeah, I like it. All right, what's next?
Okay, this next example is very fascinating because we have the same sound functioning as different parts of speech. Why, and vi.
Wait, what? This is the same sound? Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Yeah.
So why is a question word as in why is the sky blue?
Okay.
Then we have why, the letter of the alphabet. Why is the 25th letter of the alphabet?
Okay.
And finally, ve, a verb meaning to compete for something like the athletes will vie for the gold medal.
Wow, it's like a phonetic chameleon.
It is.
Changes its color depending on the context.
Yeah.
Wow, English never ceases to amaze me.
It's a fun language.
Okay, so are you ready for our final word pair?
I am. What do you have?
Worse and verse.
Okay.
So worse doozy is the comparative form of bad, meaning more unpleasant or unfavorable, like the traffic is worse today than it was yesterday.
Right.
And then verse, doozies refers to a group of lines in a poem or song. The poet added a new verse to the poem.
You got.
It's amazing how similar these sound, especially when spoken quickly.
Yeah, you're right. But again, context is key.
Mm.
Paying attention to those surrounding words will help you unravel the meaning.
This has been incredible so far.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm becoming a true pronunciation detective.
Yeah.
Uncovering all these subtle differences between W and B.
Absolutely. And there's so much more to explore.
Yeah, no, I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Welcome back, everyone. We're continuing our deep dive into those tricky W and V sounds.
Yeah, for our Turkish speakers out there mastering these sounds, it's like training your ears to pick up on those subtle shades of meaning.
Absolutely. And the more we practice, the better we get at it.
Exactly.
So let's revisit some of those word pairs we talked about, but this time we'll put them into sentences so you can hear how they sound in context.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so let's start with went and vent. Remember, went full.
Yes.
She went to the market to buy some fresh vegetables.
Okay.
Now listen to this one with vent funt. He needed to vent his frustration after a long day at work.
Interesting. So in the first sentence, went describes a physical action of going somewhere.
Right.
While in the second sentence, vent is more about expressing emotions.
Exactly. And see how the surrounding words really help us understand the intended meaning.
Yeah, it's all about the context.
It is. All right, let's try another one. Wet and vet.
Huh.
So here's one with wet. The dog jumped into the lake and got soaking wet.
Like,
And now one with vet. The vet examined the cat and prescribed some medicine.
okay, so again, in the first sentence, wet describes a physical state of being, damp or soaked.
Yeah,
But in the second, vet refers to a profession, the animal doctor.
that's right. Context is key.
It is. Okay, so what about those tricky trios we talked about earlier?
All right, let's try whale, veil, and veil. Are you ready for this?
I think so. Let's hear it.
The whale swam through the deep veil, hidden beneath a veil of mist.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Mm.
I can picture it perfectly.
Right. It's amazing how those subtle differences in pronunciation can paint such a vivid picture.
It really is like magic.
Okay,
All right, what other sentences do you have for us?
this one uses wheel and veal. We'll replace the flat wheel on your car, and then we'll celebrate with a delicious veal dinner.
That's a mouthful, but I can definitely hear the distinction between the words and understand the meaning thanks to the context.
You said that you're getting it.
I think so. Wheel refers to the car part. Wheel is we will and veal the meat,
That's right.
like a little puzzle,
It is, and the more you practice, the easier it'll become.
like riding a bike.
Exactly.
At first it's hard, but then it becomes second nature.
Right. All right, let's move on to wine and vine. The child's whine became louder as he reached for the grapes growing on the vine.
Again, the context helps us understand the difference.
Yeah.
Wine, the sound, vine, the plant.
Exactly, and you can even hear the contrast between the unpleasant sound of the wine and the sweetness of those grapes.
It's like a mini story within a sentence.
I like that. Okay, how about this one? Why and vi. I wonder why the letter Y is shaped like a vine and why so many people vie to climb it.
Ooh, that's a good one. Not only does it use all three words, but it also makes you think about the letter Y.
Right, the origins of language are always fascinating.
They are. Okay, I'm ready for our final sentence.
All right, here it is. This one uses worse and verse. The weather is getting worse, so I'll stay inside and write a new verse for my song.
I love it. It's like a cozy rainy day.
Right. And again, the context helps us understand the difference. Worse describing the weather verse part of a song.
Exactly.
You're doing a fantastic job with these.
Thank you. I'm feeling pretty confident.
Good.
But is there anything else we could do to really solidify our understanding of these sounds?
Great question. And the answer is yes. In the next part, we're going to explore another helpful tool, phonetic transcription.
Ooh, phonetic transcription, can't wait. All right, so we're back and ready to explore phonetic transcription.
Yes, think of it as a secret code that unlocks the sounds of English.
Ooh, I like it, a secret code.
Right. Especially helpful for those sounds that don't exist in your native language.
Yeah, so for our Turkish speakers, this can be incredibly valuable when it comes to differentiating between W and vague.
Absolutely. So let's look at some of those word pairs again and see how they look in phonetic transcription.
Okay, sound good.
So ʻwest is transcribed as west,
Okay.
while vest is 'vest. So you can see how that one symbol really makes a difference in pronunciation.
Yeah, it's amazing how those symbols can really capture those subtle differences in sound.
Yeah. All right, how about went and vent?
Okay.
So went is went,
Right.
and vent is vet.
Again, just that one little symbol changing.
Yeah, a world of difference in meaning.
It really is. I'm starting to see the power of phonetic transcription.
Good. It's like having a magnifying glass for sound. You can really zoom in and see those details.
Yeah, it's like learning a whole new alphabet, but for sounds.
It is. All right, let's do one more. Wet and vet.
Okay.
Wet is transcribed as wet, and vet is vet.
So again, that initial consonant sound is the only difference.
Exactly. And you can see it clearly with the phonetic transcription.
I'm feeling so empowered, like I
Yeah.
can tackle any pronunciation challenge now.
That's the spirit. And remember, practice makes perfect. So I encourage you to look up the phonetic transcriptions of other words, especially those that you find tricky, and just practice saying them out loud.
That's a great idea. I'm going to start a pronunciation journal and keep track of all the new sounds I learn.
That's awesome. And as you continue learning English, remember that every sound you master brings you one step closer to clear and confident communication.
This has been a fantastic deep dive into the W in sounds. We've learned so much.
We've explored how these sounds are produced. We've looked at tons of examples.
Yeah, and we've even decoded phonetic transcription.
Exactly. And most importantly, we've learned that even though these sounds can be tricky with practice and the right tools, anyone can master them.
Absolutely. So to our listeners out there, keep practicing, keep exploring, and never stop being curious about English pronunciation. Until next time, happy language learning.